This coming Friday is another round of everybody's favourite inadvisable cross-stitch marathon, 24 hours of cross-stitch, in which we temporarily wave goodbye to all of our boring adult responsibilities and we just cross-stitch. And it feels like it's been all of about 5 minutes since the last one back in January, but I guess that's just what happens when you get older, time starts to fly. Usually, I jump into 24 hours of cross-stitch completely unprepared and lacking in willpower. In fact, I often don't even hear about it until the day it starts. But this year, I'm being more organised. It's in the calendar and everything. Yes, we are calling this video going out a whole 2 days before organised. So, let's get prepped. Just for anyone who's never heard of this thing, 24 Hours of Cross Stitch is basically a regular event. It's held 4 times a year and it runs from the Friday until the Sunday each time. So you have 3 whole days and the goal is to stitch for 24 hours in total over those 3 days. I believe this got started on Facebook. At the very least, it's been hosted there the entire time I've known about it, and there's a group on there who all post their updates during the challenges themselves and do some kind of other events in the off-season, I think. Of course, it's 2024 here, and running something exclusively on Facebook kind of means you are leaving a lot of people out. I found that especially younger stitchers are much less likely to have even heard of the event these days, which seems like a shame because it used to be a pretty big deal. Anyway, enough whinging. 3 days. 24 hours of stitching. Some people try for 24 hours in a row. Most people prefer a more laid-back approach with breaks for things like sleeping and eating, and a few people even make up their own rules entirely. Whichever way you go, it's ultimately just a way of tricking yourself into getting a satisfying amount of progress in a shorter timescale than usual. For the last one, we had a sort of unofficial update thread in my Discord server, which was a lot of fun and kept us motivated. So this time round, people have asked if we can make it a little bit more official, and the answer is yes. We now have a dedicated 24 Hours of Cross-Stitch event channel where you will be welcome to post start and progress pics, pick up a bit of extra motivation, and generally cheer people along. And we'll also be running a very casual drop in if you fancy it, but no worries if not, video chat for a bit of company while you get your stitches in. I have absolutely no idea how that second part's gonna go. We'll have to see if anybody actually joins in or whether it just ends up being me sitting there on my own like a lemon. But it was requested, so I'll give it a go. I've come up with a hilariously complicated tech setup for putting both my face and my stitching on camera at the same time, so if nothing else, I've learned a new skill there. So, whether you want to take the plunge and join in with that, or text chat is more your speed, you are more than welcome to come and marathon with us. The Discord link is down in the description. It's completely free to join and open to anybody. Our server is a fairly quiet, cosy space where we mostly just squee over each other's craft projects, discuss the correct name for this, and look at photos of cute pigeons. Or are they doves? Of course, I will post my usual progress updates on Mastodon as well, so if Discord is a bit too people-y for you, don't worry, I totally understand. You can catch up with my nonsense over there instead. I'm gonna vote we go for the shorter 24HOCS hashtag this time instead of the longer format one, just for those of you on servers with a lower character count. Alright, so we've covered the event itself, Discord and social media plans. What's missing? I need something to actually stitch. Last time I worked on Errol the Swamp Dragon from Lindisfarne Cross Stitch, who is a side character in one of my favourite Discworld books. I'm really enjoying stitching on him, but I just haven't been able to make a ton of time for him lately, so that's generally a really good candidate for 24 hours. I probably can't get his feet finished before Friday, although maybe? But what I'm thinking of doing is moving the Q-snap anyway and starting on his head, because then it'll be a nice fresh blank canvas and the hourly update photos will just be super satisfying. Alternatively, I could use the time to try and knock out some finishes. It's technically not cross-stitch at all, but this steampunk world map has been on the go for what, 2 years now? I don't know. Time has no meaning. I'll put up some B-roll of this out of the frame because I was too lazy to do it for the actual recording. The pattern only uses 4 colours, so it does have the advantage of making much less mess in a marathon scenario. But it's surprisingly slow going with all these tiny fiddly bits, and to be honest, it's not the most enjoyable stitch in the world, even though I absolutely love the design and I am excited for it to be done. The pattern is from Circle Cross, and I will link to all of these patterns down in the description, but fair warning, their website is an absolute rabbit hole of enablement. There's also my old Peppermint Purple stitch along from, 2022? Don't judge me, I bet I'm not the only one. Last time I stitched on this was probably when we were on holiday in the Lake District, summer of that year, and I just sort of got distracted and never went back. I'm just using the 1 colourway for this, or, well, okay, 2 if you count the blue around the box borders. So again, limited scope for making a mess. Could I finish both of these blackwork projects in 24 hours? That would be pretty satisfying, although, actually now I've said that, I've just realised that on this one, finishing the boxes is only about half of the work because there's also a border that's supposed to go around it. So yeah, that's not happening. Scratch that. I could finish this one and make good progress on this one though. And of course, there is always the good old standby of Autumn Stories from Pain-Free Crafts, which I definitely should have ironed, but let's just go with it. I got really obsessed with this one for a while there. I remember it was basically all I was stitching, but then again, I just kind of got distracted and wandered off. The only problem with this is I have used it for 24 hours before, and it's so many stitches and they are so tiny. You can stitch for literally that entire time and you still only get like a couple of inches of progress, so it's a little bit demotivating. It's so pretty though, and again, I really enjoy stitching on this one, so you can see my dilemma. The final possibility I thought about was that I could spend the weekend fully finishing things in my UFO basket up there, but yeah, let's be honest, that's not going to happen and that idea can safely be discarded. That's a whole other challenge on its own. Good luck with that one, future Michelle. So what do you reckon? Which option should I go for? Would you prioritise finishing things up, or would you prioritise the ones you really enjoy stitching on? And will you be giving this 24-hour challenge a whirl? Let me know down in the comments. Remember, if in doubt, you can always just make up your own rules to suit. Maybe it's 12 hours of cross-stitch. Maybe it's 24 hours, but across a week instead of a weekend. Maybe you're a total rebel and you'd rather do 24 hours of knitting instead. I'm not going to judge, you are still more than welcome to hang out with us. Alright, before we finish up then, I do just want to quickly apologise for being even more off schedule than usual these last couple of weeks. For those who don't follow me on socials, this is why. But I have some exciting stuff lined up that I think you're really going to enjoy, so if you're not subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Thank you as always to my Ko-fi supporters for keeping this channel going, and especially to my Stitch Squad who, among other things, have been absolutely instrumental in keeping my knitting mojo going lately. Marianne Johnson, Sunny, Candy Riley Pettinger, Laura Salets, Rosalie, Enlightened Flamingo, Cross Stitch the Globe, I'd Rather Be Stitching, Angela Sue Harrison, and Emily Hobbs. I'll be back soon with some more crafty nonsense, so in the meantime, have a brilliant rest of your day and keep making cool stuff. Bye! Oh my god, I knew something seemed wrong. I forgot to turn the fairy lights on. That would have been a lot better.